himself knew what he would do. Philip answered him, 200 penny worth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may take a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said unto him, there is a lad here which had 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes. But what are they among so many? Verse 10, and Jesus said, make the men sit down. Now there was much grass in the place, so the men sat down, in number about 5,000. And Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were seated down, and likewise of the fishes as much as they would. When they were filled, he said unto his disciples, gather up the fragments that remained, and that nothing be lost. Therefore they gathered them all together and filled the 12 baskets with the fragments of 5 barley loaves, which remained over and above unto them that had eaten. Verse 14, then those men, when they had seen the miracle that Jesus Christ did, said, this is of a truth that this prophet, that the prophet that should come into the world. Verse 15, when Jesus therefore perceived that they would come and take him by force to make him a king, he departed again into a mountain himself alone. Verse 16, and when the evening was now come, his disciples went down unto the sea and entered into a ship and went over to the sea toward Capernaum. And it was now dark, and Jesus was not come to them. And the sea arose by reason of a great wind that blew. Verse 19, so when they had rowed about 25 or 30 furlongs, they see Jesus walking on the sea and drawing nigh unto the ship, and they were afraid. But he said unto them, it is I, be not afraid. Then they willingly received him into the ship, and immediately the ship was at the land whither they went. Verse 22, the following day, when the people stood on the other side of the sea, saw that there was none other but there, that one whereinto his disciples were entered, that Jesus went not with his disciples into the boat, but that his disciples were gone away alone. Howbeit there came other boats from Tiberias nigh unto the place where they did eat bread, after that the Lord had given thanks. Verse 24, when the people therefore saw that Jesus was not there, neither his disciples, they also took shipping and came to Capernaum, seeking for Jesus. And when they had found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi, when comest thou hither? Jesus answered them and said, verily, verily, I say unto you, you seek me not because you saw miracles, but because you did eat of the 5 loaves and were filled. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for the meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him had God the Father sealed. Then said unto him, what shall we do that we might work the works of God? Jesus answered and said unto them, this is the work of God, that you believe on him whom he had sent. They said therefore unto him, what sign showest thou then, that we may see, believe thee, that doest the work? Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat. Then Jesus said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. For the bread God is he which cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world. Verse 34. Then said they unto him, Lord, evermore give us this bread. Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. But I say unto you, that you also have seen me and believe not. All that the Father given me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. For I come down from heaven, and not do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. Verse 39. And this is the Father's will, which had sent me, that of all which had given me, I shall lose nothing, but shall raise it up again on the last day. Verse 40. And this is the will of him that sent me, that everyone which sees the Son and believeth on him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up on the last day. Verse 41. Then the Jews then murmured at him, because he had said, I am the bread which came down from heaven. And they said, Is this not Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How is it then that he said, I came down from heaven? Jesus therefore answered and said unto them, Murmur not among yourselves. No man can come to me except the Father has sent me to draw him, and I will raise him up on the last day. It is written in the prophets, and they shall all be taught of God. Every man therefore that had heard and had learned of the Father cometh unto me. Not that any man had seen the Father, save he which is of God. And he had seen the Father. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me has everlasting life. I am the bread of life. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness, and are dead. This is the bread which come down from heaven, that any man may eat thereof, and not die. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, and I will give it for the life of the world. The Jews therefore strove among themselves, saying, How can this man give us his flesh to eat? Then Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except you eat the flesh of the Son of Man, and drink his blood, you have no life in you. Whoso eateth my flesh, and drinketh my blood, had eternal life, and I will raise him up on the last day. For my flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. He that eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood dwelleth in me, and I in him. As the living Father has sent me, and I live by the Father, so he that eateth me, even he shall live by me. This is the bread which came down from heaven, not as your fathers did eat manna, and are dead. He that eateth of this bread shall live forever. Verse 59. These things said he in the synagogue, as he taught in Capernaum. Many therefore of his disciples, when they heard this, said, This is a hard saying. Who can hear it? Verse 61. When Jesus knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them,